Hey everybody, it's your friend Jason Powell with Keller Williams here to answer a top question that is being asked by buyers in today's market. And that question is, what is the true condition of the house that I'm looking at? And what are the hidden costs that might come back to bite me later? Real quickly, the cosmetic illusion, we call that lipstick on a pig. Number two, where are you at in the system's life cycle? Number three, what are the hidden issues that you cannot see? Number four, what are the true operating costs of the property? And number five, how can you tell the difference between it being maintenance and deferred maintenance, what we call a money pit? As usual, let me over-explain. First of all, I want to talk about the cosmetic illusion. When you go look at a house, many flippers immediately put new flooring, new paint, some new fixtures, plug in some Glade smelling good things, host an open house, and sell it as a complete rehab. The problem is, if that's all that has been done to the house in the last 15 to 20 years, you might have a lemon on your hands. So how do we avoid that? The number one thing that we do is we hire an inspector to go over the home with a fine-tooth comb. Just like you would not buy a used car without having your favorite mechanic look at it, you should never buy a house, even if it's a new build, without having an inspector look at that property. So when we look at properties, we dig deeper beyond just paint and flooring. We want to know the age of the roof, because in Oklahoma, hailstorms come every single year. Once we get around 10 years old, that roof is pretty iffy. We need to have it inspected. We also need to examine the foundation. In Oklahoma, we have lots of red clay, which is constantly drying, then getting wet, and then drying and getting wet. So it's expanding and contracting, which causes the foundation to move. So many times in Oklahoma, it's not a matter of if you're gonna have foundation issues, it's a matter of when are you going to have these foundation issues and who is going to pay for them. After you look at the roof and the foundation, you should look at the electrical systems. There are certain electrical boxes which are going to cause complications. There are certain years of houses that have aluminum wiring versus copper wiring. There might be plumbing issues that you need to think about. There are certain materials that were used in certain years of construction, and you need to know if those have been dealt with, or is it a ticking time bomb that's going to go off after you purchase the property. Number two, we need to think more deeply about the system's life cycle. We all know about this concept called planned obsolescence, where products are being designed to go out after a certain amount of time. For me, it's very frustrating because my grandma had the same refrigerator my entire life, and that thing is probably still working today. My mother-in-law's had the same HVAC system for many, many years, and my brother-in-law can go over there, put some Band-Aids and duct tape on that thing and keep it going. But if you don't have handy people in your house, if you don't have vendors and contractors that owe you favors, you're going to be paying full retail price to deal with these issues. So if the air conditioning system and the plumbing and the electrical and these things are still working properly, it's not something that you can ask to be repaired or replaced because there's really nothing to do. But you need to include that in the calculus of the amount that you're willing to pay for that property. And realize that you are competing against other buyers depending on what type of market you are in, and your offer needs to be adjusted accordingly. How bad do you want this house? How bad do you want a deal? Or do you just don't care if you get this property or not, and you're just throwing an offer out to see if you could get it? There are lots of different philosophies and ways to think about that. Number three, hidden issues. There are deeper things that you need to do to inspect what you cannot see. So once you know the year that a house is built, it's important that you or your realtor do some research and go, what materials were being used on the plumbing then? What materials and issues have come about as a result of the electrical systems that were used back then? What about the roofs? What about the foundations? There are things that even an inspector is going to miss no matter how hard they go over it. There are new pieces of technology where they're using thermal guns to find leaks behind the walls. You can send cameras down into the sewer to see how good the sewer line line is there are many due diligence things that you can do there, but the most important thing is to research the year the house was built or it was remodeled and see if there are any common known issues with the materials that were used at that time. Operating costs. In Oklahoma, we have different water districts once you get outside of the metro. And sometimes for water to reach you, it has to go through 2, sometimes 3 different water districts if you don't have your own well. And each one of those water companies is going to put their hand out and they're going to charge a fee. We helped a client sell their house. They had already bought a house before they met us, and they were referred to us as listing agents. So we helped sell their house, and they went from a $95 water bill up to a $600 water bill because they did not realize they were in one of these special districts. Another fee that people don't think about are HOA fees. If you're buying a condo or a townhouse, you're gonna pay a lot more in HOA fees than if you are in a normal neighborhood or in a neighborhood that doesn't even have an HOA. So think about the utilities, think about the HOAs. Those are the operating costs that are gonna come to get you. Another thing to think about, what type of windows do we have? What type of insulation do we have? Are there improvements that we can do to the house that are going to improve the utilities? It is very common when we are listing a house for sale to provide the average utilities for electric, water, gas, things of that sort, so that buyers can budget appropriately for when they move in. The final one is knowing the difference between ongoing maintenance and deferred maintenance, also known as a money pit or known as sweat equity. When you purchase a house, you do not just make the payment and sit back and relax, but you realize that the law of entropy rules our reality. And as you sit in your house, it is going to slowly start falling apart around you. So you constantly need to be caulking things and painting things and power washing things and cleaning out the gutters and investing into your landscaping. There are different percentages that different realtors and different financial planners recognize, and maybe I'll make a video on that. But you need to plan on reinvesting a certain amount into your house each year so that you have an appreciating asset versus a depreciating asset. And when you walk into a house and you begin to look at the finer details, like look at the air intake for the HVAC system, is that dusty? That probably means they never changed their filters. That probably means that unit has been rode hard and put away wet, so to speak. There are clues when you're looking at a house to figure if the systems have been maintained properly. When you're walking around the house, you're looking for cracks in the masonry or the foundation. You're looking for rotting wood. You're looking for gaps and things that need to be caulked in the windows. Those things rapidly add up. If you are not a handy person and you're gonna have to hire those things out, those need to go into the calculus of the purchase price that you are willing to pay for that property. And as we have shifted from a seller's market into a buyer's market, buyers have become much more picky. So sellers, you need to have your home priced appropriately to cover the cost of all that deferred maintenance that you haven't done, or you're going to sit for a while, or you need to actually do the maintenance and realize that it's coming out of your pocket because you should have been doing it all of these years anyway. Hopefully I was able to provide you 5 things to look at before buying a house and answer the question, what is the true condition of the property that I'm thinking about buying, and what are the hidden costs that I am not aware of? Once again, my name is Jason Pound. I'm a realtor with Jerica Pound Realty Group. We are with Keller Williams, Mullenix, and Norman. We specialize in South Oklahoma City, Moore, and Norman, and we service the entire Oklahoma City metro area. If you need anything, don't hesitate to reach out to us. We can connect you to one of our preferred vendors. We can help you with some real estate consulting. We're here to be of service. Have a great life. Peace.